amateur MMA in the featherweight division. Brought to you by Denver Chiropractic. Fighting out of the Anchor Engineering blue corner with a record of 2 wins with no losses from Thornton, Colorado, representing Frontline Wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, laoVSsanchez. Fighting out of the 1888 Industrial Services red corner with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses from Aurora, Colorado, representing high altitude martial arts, Luis Leo. Referee Adam Martinez.
Okay, gentlemen, we already went over your instructions. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch them up now. Come out fighting.
Really understands the ground game. He really understands the positioning, and there's a tendency to let the fight on the ground progress a little bit more in the arena of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that better, actually, JR. He's one of those guys that is absolutely in tune with the fight at every step of the way, very keen with what he's seeing, and knows when and when not to step in.
Definitely one to let them advance their positions on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And also is more than adequate at recognizing a stall. Look at that. Mr. Sanchez goes for the sweep. Lau gets a butterfly guard right off the bat.
Has one butterfly hook in.
One, yes.
Does Lau. That's going to allow him to elevate and or try to circularly sweep his opponent is one of the things that he can do with that position. But Sanchez pressuring down with those wrestlers' hips. And look at that, just wrapping his arms around his opponent's body in a body lock.
And I got to tell you, George Sanchez, training at a Catharo Jiu-Jitsu under Steve Hordinsky, that is no-nonsense jiu-jitsu right there.
Yeah, that's definitely jiu-jitsu for MMA, not for sport.
And smile coming out of Mr. Sanchez there. I love seeing guys that love being in the ring. They're just having a good time in there.
The fighters quickly moved back to their feet, and it looks like they're measuring distance. Neither fighter is going to give an inch, that's for sure.
Yeah. We see Luis Lau gauging distance with that pawing jab. Oh, and then Sanchez lands a beautiful left hook. What a and a beautiful counter right hand from Lau.
Then Sanchez punches his way right to the double leg.
Yeah, makes Sanchez think about how much longer he wants this fight to be standing. And having wrapped up head control has Lau, but not going to be able to use that as a choke. So gave up on it, didn't want to let his arms burn out. Instead, he's just going to control that wrist.
Very, very heavy top pressure, heavy positioning right there from George Sanchez.
Yeah, he's definitely climbing up the body, maintaining control with top pressure, not allowing any space for Lau to use that hook, that inside hook. No transitional space at all.
And you can see Lau fishing to go over the top of the head, fishing to go over an arm. But like you just talked about, Trevor, there's no space for it. There's nowhere for him to go. He's just, mashed against the cage, mashed against the mat, or mashed against his opponent. And I was going to say Sanchez possibly setting up a head and arm triangle choke there, but Lau, of course, seen that about 10,000 times in the gym, so
this week
made the little arm adjustment to bring that elbow down that he needed to. We've just heard the 10-second clacker. We're going to get treated to around number 2.
Good action, though. Really good action already from these two.
There's a little guillotine grab right at the buzzer.
Just
very,
to show the
very
judges
close.
Mr. Tony Sims is going to step in and join you guys for the remainder of the fight. And our replay shows Lau pushing on the head, trying to create some distance. As Sanchez snaps back in, reaches over for a little guillotine, mostly a resting guillotine, is more than a submission guillotine.
Very good first round, both of these guys. Both of these guys getting exceptional coaching. As Paramount MMA CEO Tony Sims joins us on the mic. Good to see you, young man. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. What do I do with my feet?
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Stick and move.
Right on.
So, Tony, this particular card came together. There's a ton of excitement about this card. It has really been something that everybody's looking forward to. How did you make this thing come together?
Man, we had a lot of people. So the first thing we did was we came up with about 20 fights that we thought would be really good matchups. We narrowed them down. We built our card based on our bigger fights, and we filled in where we thought matchups made sense. And I think the first 3 fights have been really good. We had some good matchups. 2 of those fights had late notice opponents, but going forward, these guys have been set to fight each other for about 2 months. So I think we're going to see some really, really good fights here.
Yeah, agreed. And I got to tell you, I think the excitement of Paramount MMA really exploded in the last couple of weeks when you announced a very, very important notice about Paramount MMA. Share that with us.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we've been, you guys know I was in this business. I fought at this arena. I fought at Paramount. There's a lot of nostalgia in it for me, just being on this side of it, seeing these guys kind of going for what I was doing. But we said we wanted to be fighters first, and I hear it all the time. And I didn't think we were doing enough to really showcase it. So what I said was, you know what, let's give them a big piece of the pie. And let's make a splash on this one and give them 50%.
Sanchez going to work with the ground and pound here. It took him a little while to get it to the ground. They were pretty evenly matched in the tie-up, but enjoying dominant position. Looking to set up the armbar. Has it in there nice and tight.
Oh, Lau's in trouble,
There's
JR.
no quitting Lau, but this armbar is set in there tight. Lau needs to skip all the way over. If he can bring that right leg around, he's going to be
Look
safe.
at that.
Ends up with the backside cradle. Nicely done by Mr. Lau. That was basically his only way out of there, and he did exactly what he needed to. So now let's see how Mr. Sanchez deals with the adversity.
You know, and Tony, that it's an amazing gesture on the part of Paramount MMA. Why did you do it? That's the question.
Well, because I think, and not just myself, but my business partner, Dennis Jackson and Aaron Barreau, who have been, man, they work so hard on this. But we care about the sport. We love it. We love the athletes. And we just want to be a different option for them and a better one. So there's a lot of ways to fight, but I don't think anyone out there from above is looking after these guys like we are.
I agree with you. Clearly, Paramount MMA8 is a blockbuster card. I mean, it has that real big event feel to it. I told you that before we started tonight. I think that you're seeing the performances of people that are really excited to perform for the crowd, and I can see that the energy in this crowd. Yes, they are completely studying these fights, but they are absolutely in tune with what is going on tonight.
Oh, yeah, you could feel it all the way. I mean, the amount of messages and calls I get about what we're doing is great, but I mean, these fights that we're putting on, every card that we've done so far, they're evenly matched. The guys, there's a lot to gain for both guys.
Yeah.
And the way I want to structure it is that each guy can win, right? Each guy can win, not only just the decision or by knockout or whatever, but they each win by the opportunity that we're giving them.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. That takes us to the end of the second, JR. What a brawl.
Yeah, it was a good round. Started out even in the stand-up position. Then we saw Sanchez controlling position initially. And after escaping the armbar, we see the position here, which is with Mr. Lau on top. And he did a good job of working his ground and pound. Didn't land what I would call any super damaging strikes, but he was definitely busy enough to let the judges know and the referee know that he should have kept it down there. And pretty even round, deep submission on one end. Light ground and pound on the other end. Be interesting to see how the judges call that one if we go all the way to their scorecards.
Very, very good top control being shown by Sanchez. Excuse me. Excellent defending from Louis Lau. And I got to tell you, this last round is a toss-up for me. I've got it one apiece so far. Just like you said, the matchups have been outstanding. It's anybody's fight at this point. Both of these guys. Absolutely, look at these guys getting off their stools early. They're ready to go. Big deep breath from Louis Lau right there. George Sanchez walking forward, touching gloves. And here we go, Tony.
Yeah, both guys look fresh.
Oh, big hook.
Both guys they know that the last round's going to win the fight for them.
Absolutely right. Tell us what's next in the future for Paramount MMA.
So next year, the last 2 years we've been an annual, and this year we've got our second fight right now. Next year, we're going to put 4 events on. We're probably going to put 4 events on at 2 to 4 different venues. So a whole different kind of flavor for what we've been doing. We'll get some big shows. We'll probably do some contender series type shows. But we're looking to build this thing and to keep growing and making this the best fighters promotion.
Let's talk about fighters that want to fight for Paramount. How do they get in touch with you? What's the best avenue for them to get onto one of the Paramount cards?
So, well, you can always message us directly on our page. We will get back to you right away. We're always looking for talent. Look out on the page because the announcements will come. Our next fight will probably be February or March.
Okay.
But we're in touch with all the gyms, Ron. Like, everybody knows who we are.
Sure.
The fighters know who I am, and we'll get them squared away with good fights.
Yeah, that's really been one of the trademarks of Paramount MMA. The matchups have been outstanding. When it comes to fight time, every fight is almost a rockin' fight. So
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with what you guys have been doing. It's great to have you on board.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate it, Ron.
Oh, Sanchez starting to wrap this choke up. He did a really nice job of advancing his position, basically crawling his way up into mount and back mount, depending on what it was that his opponent was doing. Oh, but Lau with a good little explosive move right there.
That's what he needed to do.
Yeah, just momentarily bucked Sanchez off. Sanchez able to climb right back and have at least one hook in, but Sanchez really dominant positional control here in round number 3.
You know, and I know Steve Hordinsky well, and I'm telling you, he has some of the most aggressive ground attacking jiu-jitsu I've ever seen. We're seeing that clearly here with George Sanchez. Luis Lau's got to get himself together here, and I got to tell you, so far I've got George Sanchez winning this third and final round with just about 30 seconds left to go. I clearly see Luis Lau needing to get up and get this fight finished. Do you see the same thing, Tony?
Yeah, Luis has got to do something big to change the judge's mind here. He's got 28 seconds left, but he's got to have a big move.
Yeah, and his corner's letting him know you have to do something explosive right now. And it's not that he isn't trying. It's not that he's not doing the right things. It's just Sanchez has an answer positionally for whatever it is that Lau's trying to do escape-wise.
Outstanding hips being shown from George Sanchez. Really, really controlled this third and final round as this last 10 seconds winds down here. And now he's delivering ground and pound from the top. And that wraps up our fourth fight of the evening here at Paramount MMA, as both fighters show great sportsmanship as well.
And we're going to take a look at the replay here. This is after Sanchez had worked his way into a dominant position. He was really patient about his positional control once he was there. He wasn't going to give it up. He knew what he had to do in order to make it pay off.
Absolutely.
And then right at the end with just a few seconds left, postured up to get the big strikes in.
Well, 4 fights deep in this Paramount MMA 8 card. Young man, you know what you're doing.
Yep, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Tony,
You're welcome.
Pleasure to have you join us. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, JR. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Letting the judges tally their scorecards. And got Trevor back on the mic here. I have that pretty easy fight for Mr. Sanchez as far as the scoring goes.
Sure.
Not
unofficially, of course.
in there. Unofficially, of course.
But I got to tell you, you know, that top dominant position was really everything for George Sanchez tonight, as he was really able to control the movements of Luis Lau. He was really able to keep such a heavy anchor on top of Luis Lau for the entire fight.
And it eats up your
That's
energy.
it.
When you have that heavy top pressure fighter on top of you, if you can't find your way to your feet, you are just using every ounce of energy.
As we take a look at this replay here, guys, we're taking a look at the heavy, heavy pressure, not just the hip pressure, but also the offensive attacking pressure from ground and pound coming down positionally, just like you said, JR. Picture perfect, very, very heavy as he's got Luis Lau against the cage, delivering some hard shots. Let's kick it back up to Al for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Joe Garcia, 29-28. Judge Hale Hilzebeck, 30-27. Judge Tom Johnson, 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Jorge Sanchez.
Sanchez. For our fans on the 9news.com site, we want to say thank you very much for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this particular time, we're going to take a 10-minute